Hi everyone. In this video we're going to discuss about the testing of hypotheses. So coming to the statistics or the statistical inference, there we have two branches of statistical inference, that is the estimation of the parameters and the testing of hypotheses. So now what we are going to do is we're going to discuss about the testing of hypotheses. So what is a hypothesis? So hypothesis is some statement about some characteristics of a population. So it could be a general thing that we discuss, or it could be something that is related to a distribution. So here I have given two examples. So we have told statistical hypothesis is some statement. It is some statement or a fact or an information about one or more characteristics of a population. So the first example is the mean weight of a college student is 50 kg. So that is a statement that the mean weight, it is about the weight of a college student, is about 50 kg. The next example for a hypothesis is that the mean weight of a college student follows normal distribution. So if we check the weights of the college students and if we are going to fit it to a particular distribution, that distribution will be normal distribution is what the second hypothesis says. So the first statement was a general one. It was about the mean weight. So the mean was the factor. The next one is the weights. The weights follows a particular distribution. Now, what is a statistical test? A statistical test or a test of hypothesis is a rule or a procedure by which we can come to a decision or we can take a decision. So it is a decision taking procedure, and that procedure is what we call a statistical test or the test of hypothesis. So our hypothesis was the mean weight of the college student is 50 kg. So either to accept or to reject this hypothesis, we need some things or we need some procedures. So this is the procedure. So we accept or we decide to accept this hypothesis, the mean weight of the college student is 50, if we take a sample of 10 students and that 10 students, if their mean weight is between 45 kg and 55 kg, then we will accept this hypothesis, and otherwise we will reject it. So that is a procedure. So we shall write the procedure of statistical test or the testing of hypothesis. So the procedure is like this. In order to accept or reject, in order to take a decision based on this hypothesis, we will take a sample of 10 students. So the first step is take a sample of 10 students. So measure their weights. So we have 10 weights corresponding to these 10 students. Then find the arithmetic mean of the weights, and if that arithmetic mean denoted by AM lies between this 45 and 55, then we will accept it, otherwise we will reject this hypothesis. Okay, so now what we are going to discuss is some hypotheses are of different types. So first one is a simple hypothesis and a composite hypothesis. So if a statistical hypothesis completely specifies a distribution, it is known as a simple hypothesis. So our first example was hypothesis. The mean weight of a college student is 50 kg. Next it was the weight of the college students follows normal distribution. So that hypothesis just says the weight of the college students follows the normal distribution. It doesn't say the normal distribution with any parameter values. So, for example, for a hypothesis to be simple, we need to know the parameters. If the parameter is given or if the simple hypothesis is given, we know everything about the distribution. For example, we know for a normal distribution we have two parameters, mu and sigma square. So if we are defining a hypothesis that is a simple hypothesis, then we must be given or they must give us the mean mu and the variance sigma square. The value for sigma and the value for mean must be known by the hypothesis. So only then that hypothesis will be a simple hypothesis. Now, the next are examples for the composite hypothesis. So H naught, H is as mu not equal to 10, comma sigma is equal to 4. So if we consider H mu not equal to 10 and sigma is equal to 4, we know sigma square is 16 because sigma is a particular value, sigma is a constant 4. But it is said that mu is not is equal to 10, but they have not given what is mu. In the previous one, in the simple hypothesis, it was given mu takes the value 10 and sigma takes the value 4. So there we knew mu is 10 and sigma is 4. But in the following hypothesis or in the last hypothesis that is given, which are examples of the composite hypothesis, here the mu is not specified. Instead, mu is just said that it is not equal to 10. The next hypothesis is H mu less than 10 and sigma is equal to 4. So mu less than 10. Mu less than 10 means mu takes a value which is less than 10, but we don't know what the value of mu is. But sigma is equal to 4 is given. Next we have H such that mu is equal to 10. So this may seem like a simple hypothesis because the value of mu is given. But we know for the distribution mu and sigma, in normal distribution mu and sigma square, there are two parameters mu and sigma. But mu is given as 10, but the sigma is not discussed here. Since there is nothing discussed about sigma, sigma is unknown. So that is also a composite hypothesis because the parameter sigma is not specified. So if we completely specify, if the statistical distribution completely specifies a distribution, it is known as a simple hypothesis. Otherwise, it is known as a composite hypothesis. So the first one is an example of a simple hypothesis and the second one is an example of a composite hypothesis. Now we come to the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. So the hypothesis that is tested is called the null hypothesis and it is denoted by H naught. So this is the hypothesis that we are going to test. And usually we take the null hypothesis to be the neutral hypothesis. That is, suppose we need to test if the mean weight is greater than 50, then we will take the null hypothesis to be the mean weight is equal to 50 and on the alternative hypothesis we will take it to be greater than 50. So the hypothesis that is tested is called the null hypothesis and this null hypothesis shows the neutral stand of the statistician because it is neutral. Next is the hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis. The hypothesis that we will accept or reject accordingly as we reject or accept H naught is called the alternative hypothesis. So, if we are accepting the null hypothesis, then we will have to reject the alternative hypothesis. And if we are rejecting the null hypothesis, then we will have to accept the alternative hypothesis. It is a vice versa. So for every testing of hypothesis, or for every statistical problem, we will have a null hypothesis and an alternative hypothesis. So the null hypothesis is a neutral one and the alternative hypothesis is the problem that we need to test. And the alternative hypothesis is denoted by H1. So this video was about testing of hypothesis, and it was about hypotheses in general, where we discussed simple hypothesis, composite hypothesis, null hypothesis, and alternative hypothesis. Thank you.